Instagram teen accounts have automatic protections for what teens see and who can contact them, plus time management tools. And Instagram will continue adding built-in safety features to help create age-appropriate experiences. Learn more about teen accounts and Instagram's ongoing work to protect teens online at instagram.com/teenaccounts.
News team, assemble!
It's back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carey, Josh, Eddie, and
George?
No! All right, welcome back. It is the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com, where the most of the entire crew is here. The usual crew is here. Josh back in Houston HQ, Eddie Radosevich, George Stoy. I am Carey Murdoch. Eddie is raising George's chair, who always has his chair very low for some reason.
Well, I think he's just taller than me, so his knees hit the table.
That makes sense.
It's more comfortable.
Anyway, welcome in, guys. It's actually kind of fun to do a podcast right now. We got spring football going on, and I love talking some spring football, but I know Eddie... It's April 1st, and we don't have any... Eddie, no bigger fan of just zany wackiness than Eddie Radosevich on April 1st.
Yeah, I kind of think it's for losers, but that's just me. It was kind of... I don't know. I think it was very on brand that the first school that I woke up to see that they were taking part in the mischievous ways of April Fool's Day was Texas A&M, saying they were adding a fourth deck to Kyle Field. So... Good on them. That was fun. Everybody thought it was real funny.
I get enough zany wackiness in the morning. I don't need it in the office.
I'm the no fun police when it comes to April 1.
I thought the Penn State one was pretty good. I didn't hate that. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
What'd they do?
It rubbed some people the wrong way. I mean, talking about a bunch of innocent children.
What happened? What'd they do?
Oh, maybe I'm getting my wires crossed.
Not Sandusky is back? Is that what it was?
No, it is like they're working on like their socials, like, oh, we're going to put these pictures out. And so they were taking perfectly normal pictures and they were messing with them and changing them.
I
and
did see
sending to the guys like, hey, you guys want to send these out? And like half the guys weren't paying attention, like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then half of them were like, what the hell is that? And so it was just,
like
no big deal.
One guy's arms really short.
Just another sign that Matt Campbell doesn't get it, in my opinion.
Now, backtracking, is this guy that I tweeted about this morning even real? The Wolf, what was his name? Wolfram or whatever?
Yeah, the Wolfgram. Yeah, he is real. Okay. I have spoken with him, and he actually should be in Norman before too terribly long.
Really?
Yep. So that is a little bit of news. I have not written that story yet, but that sounds like that's coming.
There's a man with an athletic head that we determined and started a discussion this morning. Anyway, is he Mormon? Because he's got no chance if he's Mormon.
Why?
I don't know.
Because he's going to go to BYU or Utah if he's Mormon.
Can we also just clarify for the people listening who we're exactly talking about? It's like I think we haven't even.
Wolfram.
Josh said his name.
Okay, but like, what is he? 28
defensive end.
Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
27.
27.
See, and that's why we need clarification. Thank you.
Yep, 27 defensive end from Utah that apparently Crew Jones knows. So that's kind of interesting little storyline.
Yeah, but also the Crown's going on tonight.
I can't wait.
Eddie is building up the excitement.
I have handicapped the Crown. I'm going to say that Oklahoma is the.
Are they the favorite?
They're the next champion of the Crown. Possibly, unless they lose.
Did anybody ask what they're doing to divvy up the money? Like, do the players get it all?
I think it's the current players, the current roster. That's what they're playing.
Now, the program gets some too, though, right? Or is that wrong?
I have no idea. Let's be honest.
Like, do they get to cover their travel expenses? I mean,
let's be honest. I'm not that involved in the Crown, but I am excited to watch another basketball game tonight.
I do feel like, though, that is the sentiment of most OU fans when it comes to men's basketball. They just don't. They care for about a month and a half, and they don't.
If they
care.
get to the final, they'll care. I
think Greg will care.
I don't know about that.
I don't think anybody.
The diehards will care, but yeah, I mean, it would be a good thing if they go win.
I'm
If
really
you're gonna
expecting them to get there, though, based on the SEC's showing in the NCAA tournament.
The SEC was fine in the tournament. I mean, they didn't make a Final Four, but they were still fine.
Tennessee had
Florida
a nice
wasn't.
run.
I also think that the crown is totally
Florida wasn't
different
very
because
good.
you have teams that are like you have guys that are just opting out left and right.
Yeah,
Like,
Colorado's lost a bunch. They were already one of the youngest teams in the country. They already had 3 guys that have entered the portal. It is kind of interesting, and it's maybe a bigger conversation, but I was thinking about it a lot over the course of this past weekend with the success that the Big Ten had in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, that's on the heels of Indiana winning the national championship in football.
Yeah.
Big Ten's kind of doing it right now, the 2 big sports in basketball and football. I mean, obviously, with what they did in basketball this year was just unbelievable. It seemed like every one of those teams that didn't make the Final Four could have made it if they got a different draw.
Has anybody won a championship in anything since they came out with the SEC just means more slogan?
Well,
When
that's
did
been
that
around
start?
forever.
Major sports?
That's been around for a long time.
Seems like it's only
decade,
been a few
probably.
years. I don't think it's been around a decade.
I'll look
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
definitely been around a long time, I feel like.
Maybe they introduced it when Missouri and Texas A&M entered.
So, like
That seems
2013,
right.
that'd be 13
Yeah,
years.
that would be a long time.
Florida did win the national championship just a year
just
ago.
last year.
Basketball.
I mean,
Basketball.
SEC had
But it is kind of
record-breaking
baseball's been
performance.
When you
really
have that
Yeah.
type of slogan,
LSU
it
won
is
the national
kind of
championship.
embarrassing when you're not winning it, since Alabama last won it.
In football?
July 2016 is when
16?
it just means more. Yep.
God, I
It
feel
was
like that's
released
been
right
around for
decade.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Decade.
you're right.
I think they've won quite a lot. I mean, look, they need to get back to it in football. I think basketball is one of those things. It's kind of just year to year, and
Basketball's
Big Ten
tough.
was really good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if-
you could have said the exact same thing. We were saying the exact same thing about the SEC a year ago.
If
with how many teams
Illinois or Michigan win, it'll be the first Big Ten basketball championship in like 26 years. I
I
think.
mean, it's
yeah.
been since like 2000.
They haven't had a
something.
whole lot of success.
Michigan State.
I just think that it's
Kind of hope Arizona wins it, to be honest with you.
sure.
Any of the four teams, I wouldn't mind.
I mean, if you would have caught me last week, I was definitely on the anti-UConn train. But the way that they won and the way that they beat Duke,
that was awesome.
I'm not going to turn down more Dan Hurley. He's just a psychotic person. He's unbelievable.
I would like to get the ref side of whether they're good friends or not.
He's talked about it.
The ref
Roger
has?
Ayers talked about
Okay.
it. Yeah. He said I think was quoted on one of the shows that he did on Monday morning, just basically saying, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, he acted like he didn't even know it was that big of it, that it was
the head
like
thing.
making rounds on Twitter.
Yeah.
Roger Ayers is the guy that I showed the picture to you guys that showed up at the ACC tournament wearing the all pink outfit.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just an electric factory.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense now.
Kip Kissinger is on the Final Four call, though. It's going to be good.
I have
officiated.
I missed that they're clearly friends.
Yeah, I think so.
What the hell is he doing calling his game then?
Well, I mean,
I think
he's
they
been
just
doing
get
college basketball
along.
for 30 years.
I don't know if it's
I
as
don't know if
much
they're
as
going on
friends as it is like they
vacation
know
together.
they know each other well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking it was more like they go.
No, they're not
personally
like.
laid
I don't.
back.
I don't
Okay,
think that they
fair enough.
break bread and share bottles of wine together. But I think
Got
Roger
it.
Ayers has been doing college basketball for 30 years. I'm sure, crossed paths. Just be like
Because Dan Hurley
Kelvin
breaks
or
a lot
anybody
of
else.
bottles of wine.
Think Scott Foster has that relationship with any head coaches?
I don't know. I was thinking about it the other night when he was here doing the Oklahoma City game on what was that, Tuesday night?
He wasn't the one that called the push off by Shea.
No, it wasn't. He was down on the bottom end. He was on the baseline. If Scott Foster comes through in the playoffs and he wants to go break bread at Mott, my treat. Be more than happy to take him out. Does a great job. He's one of the best referees in the league.
I know you all, and certainly
George, I
Carey
like
and
how he
Eddie
uses
have talked
mod as
about
currency now.
I know.
We're all on the page. That was the right call, right? Like the
push-off?
We can all accept that. Yes.
I mean, it is if you're going to call it all the time that he does it, which
it's
is
one of those
90%.
things.
Fair.
It's one of those things, though. Like
You can't,
in the
you can't
moment,
release your arm. His arm
in
was
the
all the way out.
moment, in that situation, there's a lot of things that should be a no call, and it's not like it's not like the guy wasn't right up in his grill either.
By the letter of the law, it was the right call. I think, but the thing that
a lot easier to say that
it's
it was.
kind of like what's going on with
won.
baseball right now, though.
I was listening to the guys over on Down to Dunk, and I think they kind of nailed it. Whereas like the reason that it ended up getting called was the guy that was guarding Shea Green, I think it was already off of him. Like Shea had already beat him. Shea didn't really need to push off, and then that extra little push, and you mean you can freeze it. I don't think it really affected him that much.
A lot of times they were
a chicken
showing
wing.
like last night. Yeah, it's a chicken wing, but this was a full-on extension.
Yeah, and I don't think it really
hand
affected
on
it.
his shoulder.
I really don't think it wasn't like a lot of force, but technically it was the right call. It just sucked because in the moment it was like that was effing awesome.
Another one. It was nice that they won the game, though. They're going to have to win a lot of games here moving forward. Big game coming up tomorrow night against the Lakers. Thunder talk.
God, I hope they crush the Lakers.
Yeah, I don't want the Lakers winning. It would just be
playing pretty good basketball.
See, Josh,
Luka's
people don't
been
realize
awesome. They
this.
won 50-17.
I don't even know if Eddie is old enough to realize like just how many annoying Lakers fans there were in Oklahoma City before the Thunder ever showed up. I mean, they were annoying. Do you remember that whole kind of group? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that we've saw it even through
I guess it goes back to the Pau Gasol days.
I think that's everywhere, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like when the Yankees are really good.
But I'm sure there's as many Laker uniforms in Denver and, anywhere across the league just like there are in Oklahoma City when they come. Kind of like little kids wearing Steph Curry jerseys.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned Gasol. I was there that night, the tip-in in Game 6. And
really?
I'll never be over that.
The first year?
Yeah.
They made it?
We had great seats. I was so excited to see Oklahoma City surprise them. Didn't think they'd win the series, but thought they'd get that one, and then to lose like that was heartbreaking.
Rivals had their yearly publisher convention when they made it to the finals against Miami, and it was just like we had every night we had big dinners and stuff, and I would just be at the bar watching the games. Of course, they didn't win, so it was just brutal, trying to watch that with everybody not really caring around me.
That sucked. That was a crap viewing experience. I think
we were in Atlanta. Maybe that was the 5-star, the first 5-star.
Yeah, it was early years. Because we were nowhere near our normal current staff. Very, very different lineup of the Scoop crew at that point.
All right. So we've got some spring football to talk about. We had some viewing on Monday. There is no more media this week, and a big part of that, you can blame the Crown, if you will. I mean, you blame circumstances. It's just not enough people at OU and the communication/sports.
And we've had great access.
Department. Oh, it's been fantastic.
I mean, we've gotten to go to practice 3 of the 4 practices so far, and we've had interviews after every practice session so far.
Except for that, even that Saturday. Yeah.
We've talked to.
We weren't supposed to have access on Saturday. What happened was, it started, and for whatever reason, it gets to be the offseason. I think coaches get overly paranoid, and Brent's no exception. They said you can only shoot still photos, and I complained about it, kind of raised some hell, and then Brent said, okay, you can shoot photos, and after it was or videos too. And after it was over, I just stopped him and I said, hey, Brent, thanks for letting us come out and shoot video. That really means a lot because we do all these YouTube shows. And he said, well, come back out Sunday or Saturday. Yeah. And so he let us do video on Saturday, and then he gave us a great set of interviews. I mean, John Kuzieski, Doug Deacon, who was the third?
Lamar Morgan.
So, and the Kuzieski could not have been a better. I mean,
he was awesome.
I thought Ben Arbuckle was great, but talking to Kuzieski, it's like, man, we should talk to that guy every week.
Yeah,
Love
he was
talking
great.
to that guy.
Definitely a future coordinator probably.
For sure.
At least that's what I took away from
No
it.
doubt.
And how close he is with John.
Yeah, I think that was the number one thing is, and we talked about it on the breakdown that we did on Monday on YouTube, just with John Kuzieski. And there was, I think for maybe a couple days here during the offseason, we kind of thought, okay, is he going to move on? Is he going to go to Penn State? Is there going to be a question about John Mateer coming back? And it certainly seems like he wanted to come back and kind of finish this with John.
Yeah, and I want to get more to that, but first I want to tell you guys about Cody Drug RX, our good friends They're in. I'm trying to think of the exact. CodyDrugRx.com. What city is that in, Josh? You're a big client.
Is
it Sulphur Springs?
Is that right? Yeah, that's wow. Well done, nice pull. Absolutely, Sulphur Springs.
Is that Keenan Clayton's hometown?
I'll remember that
That
next
is
time
correct.
that you forget a name but could pull Sulphur Springs. Very impressive.
Well, I mean,
We
it
do-
was in
we
my
do good
prime.
things for Will.
It was in my prime when my brain was working, correctly. I remember those things.
And remembered Keenan Clayton's hometown. I mean, Carey, that's a whole
It's
collection.
very
of impressive
what
right
what
there.
I've learned about Carey is it's very specific things. There's some things like Rocky beers and Reagan beers he gets tripped up
It's
on.
all the new stuff
but
because I have so much shit
You
going
give him
on.
a name from
I mean,
20 years ago, and he'll be like sharp as
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah, like Erica Kirk ran whatever in Romania. She ran a child daycare. Interesting.
Okay,
Will
anyway.
like that. He's part of it.
Back to Cody
Not that, but he's
my
part of.
God.
He's part of. Cody Drug.
Will, welcome to Eddie's ad reads.
He knows.
He knows.
He prefers.
Anyway, CodyDrugRx.com. Look, if you're looking to drop weight, boost energy, or you just want to feel better heading into 2026, sometimes Eddie and I need that with the morning radio stuff. They offer multiple custom compounded peptide-based weight loss options, including popular GLP-1 medications and performance-focused peptides that help you recover faster, burn fat, and stay sharp. Look, just go to Cody Drug. They love teaming up also with the Oklahoma Med Spas and longevity clinics to deliver high-quality peptides quickly, safely, and with top-tier service. And so while OU gets prepared for another title chase, let's chase some better health together. Visit CodyDrugRx.com to learn more and see how you can get started. Also, go check them out on Instagram at CodyDrugRx. Get a lot of recommendations on weight loss and just generally feeling better each and every day. Cody Drug, personalized medicine built for champions, kind of like our own Edward Radosevich, who is a visionary champion, if you will.
Looks like life looks 3, 2, 1. Life looks different at every age, Sooner fans. Whether you're aboard a boomer or a little Sooner, Enjoy Vision provides personalized vision correction for every generation with $1,000 off LASIK, Evo, ICL, and lens replacement. Now's the time to get your eyes ready for the season, no matter what season of life you're in. Schedule your free consultation and join Gen C at enjoyvision.com, letter NJOY vision.com. Enjoy Vision. This is where Sooner Scoop LASIKs.
All right. So we've been out to practice a lot. I think, we've all had certain things that we've focused in on or really that have kind of, grabbed our attention the most. I think for me, guys, it's been the linebacking core. Just the size that they have. And we talked to Taylor Heim the other day. A lot of people thought it was Parker Livingston. They do look very similarly.
Yeah, the mustache.
And just Cole Sullivan, Taylor Heim, Christian Moore, I've seen a lot of him. But, depending on what happens with Owen Heineke, and Kip Lewis is kind of his own guy, but
I want all the James Nesta stuff.
even the
that you
James
can get.
Nesta, he's a huge
Josh, his
dude.
arms are just... I say it every time that we go out there to George. I can't believe how much bigger James Nesta's gotten. Because there was a time that, like, when he was playing baseball and pitching, I didn't know if he was ever going to allow his body to get like that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I hear you guys talk about it, and I've heard others too. And it's like I remember
Who else you listening
from
to?
the All-American game, and he looked more like a baseball player than he did a football player.
Yeah.
He was like a big framed guy, but he wasn't like super muscly or anything. So to hear like these reviews, and I saw one of the practice reports you guys had where you had some clips of him, Eddie. It was like, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like that dude's just a different person altogether.
And, we talked to Taylor Heim, and George, you wrote about it on Tuesday. I do think that, like, sometimes I feel like he is still really, really young, and then you look up and
It's his fourth year.
he's entering his fourth year. Like,
crazy.
The light, certainly, if it's ever going to come on, you would think it's going to be at this moment.
And I think, like I wrote about this, he was such a raw talent coming out of Bethany that it was always going to take probably a couple years. And I think he would have played more a year ago. Like, we had heard some really good things about him if they didn't get Kendall Daniels, who came in and was just a stud for him at Cheetah alongside Reggie Powers. And obviously Reggie's the guy that's probably going to run out there first with the Cheetah.
And also
with the
another guy
defense.
that's put on really good weight during the offseason.
Yeah, but I think Heim's going to have a role. Like I think he's going to play. And we saw him at practice. He was playing inside linebacker the other day, so I wouldn't be shocked. I agree with you, Carey. That linebacking group, and obviously it'll be interesting to see. We've seen Heineke out at every single practice, hanging out with some of the linebackers and talking to them.
15 days from now.
Yeah, I mean, his court date, like if he were to be back, which I kind of think he's going to be, that group is a group that I think could be really, really good defensively. The group that if we want to take this another direction, the one group I'm a little worried about in terms of depth is safety. Because every time we go out there, I'm like, man, they are really light. I love Peyton Bowen. Michael Boganowski, I think, is going to be really good for you.
I'm going to tell you, Amarion Robinson looks the part.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a good player, but we haven't seen him a ton. And after that, there's nobody. I mean, it's Markel Ford, Nico Jandro, two freshmen.
If they could find, and I think that Reggie's going to fit in quite well at Cheetah, but wouldn't they just bump him back to safety if they really absolutely had to?
Yeah, they could. And I think that would probably be what they have to do. And to be fair to them, it was the same situation last year. It was just Peyton Bowen, Robert Spears-Jennings, and Boganowski. And I guess Hardy played some too at safety, but they weren't super deep there a year ago either.
Look, it's a everybody duck situation if we go into talking about how good running backs look in spring because of the Jade Knott, and obviously we thought he looked like a different level.
Well,
type
Javonte
player.
Barnes looked amazing every year. And just never did anything.
It's impossible to tell. It's kind of like you were talking about the recruiting report, Josh. Linebacker drills and those things against running backs. It's just a no-win situation. It's kind of that way with running back because you don't really know. Like Xavier Robinson would have been playing a lot earlier in his career if they knew that he was one of their better options, but they just couldn't tell in practice. And look, I think that. I can't even remember the Colorado State guy.
Lloyd Avant.
Avant, yeah. I mean, he's getting a lot of reps. He's a very stocky individual. I have no idea if he's going to be a breakout guy, if he's going to be able to turn a 5-yard run into a 20-yard run.
We were talking about it on the, I think when we got back from practice on Saturday, but just spending, or it might have been Monday, just spending time over with some of the running backs, it is just kind of crazy. Like, Jonathan Hatton just looks so
looks good. He
glides.
He runs well. Yeah,
he glides. He doesn't really run, and then it's like, is he moving? And then all of a sudden, it's like, yep, he's moving a lot faster than everybody else.
They're also thudding. Yep. I mean, they're not tackling to the ground.
Yeah,
and they're very like. It's like I don't know if it's Jonathan Hatton just looks like he runs to space better than everybody else, or if it's just he kind of has taken advantage because he knows people can't tackle him, and he can kind of just. But it does look good. I mean, I don't know what it means. I don't think any of us are going to know what it means until we see live action.
Not at all, and probably not even going to really know until week 2 when you go up to Ann Arbor.
I will say, DeZephan Walker looks like a monster for a freshman.
For me, like all the run game stuff in general, and I know we can get into it. We talked to Ben Arbuckle quite a bit about it, as well as John Kuzieski, just in terms of their mentality from a run game standpoint. But you look out at that starting offensive line, and I like what you see there.
Yeah.
Now, is it just going to be straight up that they're just flat out better than they were the last couple of years? You would expect so, to an extent. How good can that be, though, I think is kind of fascinating.
Here's what's crazy to me, guys, is I spent a lot of time last night up here cutting up photos. And I don't know if you went into like the media library and looked at any of what I've uploaded, but go do that because I think the phrase of the camp was set by Brent the other day. What was it exactly? You've got to kick ass if you want to kick ass.
Kick ass mindset if you want to kick ass.
Yeah, you have to have a kick ass mindset. And Ben Arbuckle has kind of embraced that. And I'm sure a lot of the offensive linemen have embraced that. But every single one of those pictures I took, this was just on Monday. There was so much intensity on the faces of every player on the field, on every coach, like Brent Venables, Todd Bates. I mean,
they take
Trent Smith never cracks a smile, but he's intense all the time.
Trent
Wilson. Sorry,
Trent Wilson.
I think I titled him
Trent Smith. That'd be sick if Trent Smith was back. Shout out Trent Smith.
I did.
All-time Sooner.
I titled him Trent Smith in the library. So if you want to find Trent Wilson pictures, go look.
There's definitely some intensity out there, but I don't know if it's. I guess I haven't paid attention if it's any different than years previous. Like I think that Brent's always pretty.
Maybe it's because I go out there and my mindset's already kind of wrapped around it. But I think there is a definitely an intent and an urgency that they know they have to be better up front. Like those inside
Well, I think
drills.
running the football. I think
Yes.
that is what it is. Like,
Right.
That's the biggest thing that I've noticed is like even Eddie and I were watching the other day. They're practicing under center handoffs. I've never seen them do that.
Yeah.
You know, in the last few years.
I mean, you talked to Kuzieski, kind of opened the door about it on Saturday afternoon after practice, but we followed up with Ben Arbuckle on Monday night just in terms of like, how often do you go back and look at what you're doing from a schematic standpoint? Is there going to be more zone? And that was one of the things that Dalen McCullough talked about at the first time that he met us with the media, just in terms of
Can I
like
ask a
talking to
question?
Ben Arbuckle.
Can I ask a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Why do you put the "k" at the end of McCullough?
I don't know, because I'm really scared of that name. For some reason, it doesn't make sense to me.
Anyways,
I was asking for the fans, George.
yeah, no, I know. I people
Fuck
are
the
frustrated.
fans. Just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I was just gonna say, and we've talked about this, I feel like a lot, but like there's been little things that have happened this offseason that just keep pointing to I think we're gonna see some different schematics when it comes to
The run game, yeah.
to the run game, and whether that's Kevin Wilson being elevated and making a lot more money, or Dylan McCullough and his relationship with Kevin Wilson and what they ran at Indiana, which was primarily outside zone, or what we've seen in practice, or hearing even Ben Arbuckle pretty much say like we're changing some stuff in the run game to help the offensive line. Like I just think we're going to, and then seeing the drills that they're running. Again, I don't think they're going to come out and run the wishbone next year, but I do think it's going to look maybe a little differently, and maybe that opens some things up. I think having I wrote about the tight ends today. Last year, their biggest tight end weighed 252 pounds. This year, they have two guys over 265. Like, and I'm not saying that just makes the world, a big difference, but certainly they've gotten bigger at that position. And even Brent said, Carey, I think to your question last week about running the football, we need to be better on the edges. And then Cade McIntyre came out and basically said, yeah, we weren't a part of the offense last year because we couldn't block anybody. And that's going to change this year. So I'm very interested to see what it looks like. And I don't know. It's interesting. They ran 78 plays last year in 12 personnel. That was 9% of their offensive plays. I wonder if that number goes up a little bit.
I would say that anything that Ben Arbuckle, and when we talked to Kuzieski, I thought he gave a lot more insight into like Ben Arbuckle and kind of the changes he's willing to make, because it's kind of one of those things you don't want to ask. Like, it's kind of insulting to ask Ben Arbuckle like, how much is Kevin Wilson involved in your offense now? Like, it's still his offense. He's the guy that has to say we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
He's kind of like I feel like his title is, it's not this obviously, but it's like you see in the NFL, you have like a run game coordinator. I feel like that's Kevin Wilson. Like and I'm not saying he's calling plays or anything.
His title is assistant head coach of offense.
Is that really? I thought it was senior offensive.
No,
analyst.
I
They
looked
changed
it up.
Wow,
because
okay.
I'm doing all these photo descriptions on the website. It's associate head coach for offense.
That's interesting.
Or assistant head coach for offense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, it's pretty obvious how much he's kind of tinkering with their run game because no one talks about it.
AHFO. AHFO. That's what Kevin Wilson is.
AHF?
Yeah, assistant head coach for offense.
He's also spending a ton of time. I don't know if you guys watched. So a year ago, he was with the offensive line a lot, and he'll still go over there some. But he's spending a lot of time when they're doing the under center handoff to running backs. Mm-hmm. He's right there,
and he's got a card. He's looking
guys.
at it every time.
My favorite
plays.
Kevin Wilson story of all time when they were going through Orange Bowl practices, and Sam had the broken hand with the cast on, and he kept getting mad that they were dropping snaps. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I have a cast on my hand. Can't take a snap.
Were you guys a little surprised that they they obviously are thinking about it, but to let everybody publicly see them doing some of the outside zone, some of the under center stuff, like I felt like that was choreographed, and I don't know exactly how to read that.
I think that's a big part of why they tried the no camera rules. I mean,
yeah, but I also think at the end of the day, like if you can run outside zone, there's nothing you can do to stop it really. Like, and I don't think that it's gonna like you're not gonna.
If you could run the ball, like line up and beat the man in front of you.
Yeah, and I also think Brent's reached a point where he is like we have to run the football, and like at the end of the day, we have to rep it over and over, and this is the time to do it. So I don't think he's like, man, I don't want it to get out that we might change some schemes. Like I think that they've been pretty. I mean, Brent's been pretty brutally honest about the run game since really the Alabama loss, and I think it's been obvious that they're going to change some things up. Again, I don't know how much that really means. Like, are they really going to go out there and run under center a ton and do a bunch of outside zone? I have no idea, but they're clearly working on some of that, which makes you think they're going to be running some different stuff.
Well, and they are working, when we're there at least, that's the most I've seen them work on handoffs. I mean, from the quarterback. And I don't know, the one thing, I haven't seen it, but you wonder if there's going to be some under center stuff at some point.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like they've been practicing it, so you'd think you'd see it more. It's funny too, like watching Dylan McCullough, and I was talking to my dad about this. He's very like he's coaching a lot about like vision and seeing the hole, hitting the hole, and like how the play's going to open up. At least from what I've seen in individual work.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time? Or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from okay to very high. Know your sleep score with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
And I don't remember DeMarco doing as much of that. Maybe I wasn't paying as close of attention, but it's
been a lot of the they have those mats that have A, B, C on the left and right, and it's like he's standing on top of C, and it's like you get your ass here,
right? And I don't know how much they did that. And my dad made a funny point. He's like, well, maybe with DeMarco, he was like, how do you not see it? I see it. How do you not see it?
Yeah.
Whereas McCullough's more like, this is where you're supposed to go. Like this is what the end goal is, or
I could definitely. I mean, I know that probably sounds crazy, but I could see that.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that.
Almost where, again, I don't want to. I have no idea if that's true, but I could see a situation where DeMarco's like, "How do you not see this?"
The other thing that's been kind of interesting to me is just kind of watching, and ever since 2024, it seems like they've done what they could to kind of protect the receivers, but then you go out there and you see Elijah Thomas in a boot. Who else?
It was Jermichael Carter.
Trell Harris had the cleanup deal.
Jermichael Carter, Trell Harris, Elijah Thomas, all, and I don't think any of them are serious. I think Elijah's like a sprained foot or ankle, and we probably won't see him in the rest of the spring. But I don't think it's anything crazy. It's not a Jaden Gibson or Giovanni Gibson situation. No. Of those guys.
But it is interesting because you do get to see some of the young guys, and I feel like they're pushing some of those guys. I mean, Jasir Rogers, I know, George, you've been saying that you've been hearing a lot of good things about him, but we saw Jaden Petit out there.
He looks awesome.
Running a little bit. And obviously, why do I always forget Zero's name?
Manny Choice.
Manny Choice. Stock up on Manny Choice. The way that Ben Arbuckle talked about it on Monday, it's kind of like one of those like,
and he looks. Whoa. I mean, he looks great. Yeah. Like last year he didn't look like a guy ready to play, and part of that was he wore number 21, which is just a terrible receiver number.
Not a receiver number,
but he looks really good this year.
And another thing we saw, which I know a lot of people will still have some Jeff Lebby leftover PTSD about this, but jet sweeps to Satania and to Jasir Rogers was the other guy that he was getting a lot of those.
And Mackenzie Aileen from the transfer wide receiver.
Transfer.
I'm not saying he's going to play like a big role, but I wouldn't forget about him. He's
17,
a veteran,
right?
Yeah, he's veteran guy.
Maybe a terrible example, but could he be like a Lee Morris?
I don't know if he's big enough. Lee Morris was
bigger.
Bigger body. I'm more so saying like in a pinch, like you
role.
He could come in and help you a little bit just because he's played in the offense. He played it at Washington State.
He made a couple really nice plays in the one-on-one portion of practice on Monday or Saturday.
Let me ask you guys, what have been your impressions, if any, because I have spent some time, but not a lot, around the offensive line. I mean, obviously, Michael Fasusi looks fantastic.
Well, Eddie said it earlier. He said it looks great.
I think they look great. I mean, Marion Harris has been a little bit of a godsend. I know I've had a little bit of a man crush on him since he started camp or got to Norman. And then there's just so many starts amongst all of those guys. I was talking to some buddies last night about it. I know because Michaela had been injured at one point and you got Fabechi leaving. You don't feel like that group of the quartet of guys have played a lot of football together on the field, but I feel like they have been together just in terms of being in the same meeting room, being around one another. And I think that goes somewhere. That takes you to an extent of where you need to be. And I think it should be a really good group. That starting five is very intriguing to me. With, obviously
They've got
Harris
really
and
good size, it seems.
Michaela's massive at center. And then,
and I think that
EPL and Heath Ozida at right guard as well as Fasusi, or left guard, and Fasusi on the left side.
And Ozida's playing right guard too some. Foje's a little...
Yeah, he had his foot in a boot on Monday.
No, he had a knee brace.
Or knee brace, excuse me.
But I do think that Foje moving inside is another signal of them really wanting to run the ball. And obviously he could kick back out and play right tackle if something were to happen. But I do think moving him in is kind of what they want to do in terms of running the football. And he's just a ginormous human.
And I will say this too, you see tight ends working in on inline blocking with offensive linemen in drills, and we haven't seen a lot of that since we've been going out there.
Yeah, and they just look. I mean, when you have Hayden Hansen out there versus Jaron Kanik on your inline tight end, it's just different. It just looks a little different.
Look at that beast just walking up to Jason.
I mean, he's huge.
He's massive.
He's listed at 6'8", 268. I mean, that's just a monster of a human.
He's a big guy.
And then you put him next to with Trinae Washington out there, and you're running 12 personnel. It's that looks pretty good.
Or Jack Van Dorsler or Rocky Beers. You just feel
Van
so much better
Dorsler's
about it.
kind of the runt, but he looks fantastic. I mean, just built like a Greek god. I mean,
shout out John Locke. Hand up, completely forgot John Locke was still on the team. I asked George when we were leaving the first viewing. I was like, "Who's 44 out there?" He's like,
I don't think he's on scholarship.
Okay. Well, either way, we appreciate him still being part of the party. And I just talking to Cade McIntyre on Monday night as well. He is a guy that has kind of gotten lost in the mix just in terms of being a carryover from last year's team. Certainly a guy that I think was going to play a little bit more. I know we talked to him about it before all the injuries. I still think he's a tremendous athlete. Maybe you are able to find a little bit of maybe an H-back type role that he could play. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a guy that you could really count on to make the block on the edge.
Yeah, he's light. He's 6'3", 225, I think.
But nonetheless, I mean, there are you go for running back to wide receiver to tight end and seeing the guys that they brought in and the development that you hope comes, it should all kind of add up to a much better unit. I think they're going to be a top 5 offense in the country, and John Mateer's going to win the Heisman, is what I'm saying.
Well, the thing is what they did in the offseason matches with this wide zone idea, where you've gotten bigger and more athletic at tackle. You've added huge size at tight end. That's the kind of stuff you've got to do to run wide zone. You've got to have athletes at tackle, and obviously with Fasusi, they might have one of the best ones in the country. So that makes that easier. Marion Harris moves pretty well, not at Michael's level, but he's very good and he's huge. So he can reach, he can extend on those, the edge defenders and some of that stuff you've got to do with wide zone. So again, we've talked a lot about this, but a good marriage of what your front office is trying to accomplish and your coaching staff is implementing.
It was if you can run outside zone, guys, that's going to free up so much for John Mateer too. If you can do some play action off of that and rolling him out, which he's pretty good on the run. I think they're doing a lot to be we got to help John. And I wonder too, how much do they say we're not going to run RPOs as much? We're going to have some plays. You are handing the ball off. There's no option.
Fasusi had a block during one of the mini team portions. What do they call it? The half team or whatever.
Half line.
Yeah.
And he just had Bergen Kaiser just completely flipped his body completely inside, and it was just you don't even have to know exactly what they're trying to do in the drill to know that Michael Fasusi just completed what was maybe one of the best reps of the day.
There was another rep that was very noticeable, and going back and looking at the pictures, it was Taylor Heim, Nigel
Smith.
See, it's too easy of a last name. I think it can't be Smith. And I can't remember. Danny Okoye. But they blew up Andy Bass like 5 feet in the backfield. And you're just like, okay. I mean, Nigel Smith, maybe he's going to be something.
Nigel is definitely a part of the grouping of guys that you walk out there. Not only does he look the part, but it seems like every time we've been out there, he's made at least one play.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting. Like, I don't think that any of the three guys of Nigel Smith, Trent Wilson, or Bishop Thomas are as good as Grayson Halton, and maybe not even Dominic Williams at certain things. But I think those three guys combined can maybe make up what you lose there, and especially with the idea that David Stone and Jaden Jackson are like all-American type of players, and you can play them a little bit more, because the thing is, guys, like if David Stone's healthy next year and Jaden Jackson's healthy next year, you're talking about having two guys that Stone for sure is a day one draft pick, I think, and Jaden Jackson, when he's healthy, he might be a day one draft pick too. So like, I mean, it's insane. So you don't need Nigel Smith to be a superstar, but if he can give you 15 snaps a game, that would be massive.
Jonah Lualu is still in the NFL, right?
Yep.
Like strongly on a roster, like not just
Raiders.
A guy hanging on.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a Carey music nerd moment. I can't wait to make the Making Plans for Nigel thumbnail. One of my favorite XTC songs. Sorry.
I love that song.
You don't know that song at all.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, we're not going to get a copyright strike for playing it because that happened last week.
It's very particular on what you get a copyright strike on and what you don't.
We got a copyright
Sometimes
strike.
the songs that we get copyright strikes on, it's like, I just don't believe that those people care about copyright.
Copyright strike on an advertisement, a national advertisement last week. It was unbelievable.
Because of the music?
Yeah, because the music, it was like it was some tax ad.
Huh.
Which tax ads are paying a lot of bills right now. I don't mind them. Anyway.
We just don't have to pay them.
No, we don't have to
Taxes.
pay the... No, I'm talking about... We don't have to pay the tax ad company.
Oh.
The taxes
I'm not
we
paying
have
taxes
to pay.
either.
No, but the defensive line, I mean, we all know Danny Okoye's got to step up. We all believe that Taylor Wine will be, the kind of the go-to guy there. But
that little video that I think it was David Pollack retweeted of Taylor Wine this week. It's like, yeah,
he looks really good, man.
It's awesome.
And I think Okoye. I think PJ better watch out because I think Okoye might start.
Yeah, Attaboy's not out there, so that's one guy that you're going to rely on that you're not seeing right now.
I also think they're going to play the Kenny Ozuwalu kid from UTSA.
He's got good. I mean, he's a lot bigger in person than I thought he was going to be.
Well, I mean, he could play defensive tackle if you need him to,
Yeah.
but he's been working at edge, working at edge, and he
made
looks
a couple
really
plays during the
good.
half-line stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a handful. I mean, he's not going to be the quickest guy, but he's going to be a handful for guys on the edge.
And I'll say this: I'm not sitting here saying he's ready, but Jake Krill looks the part of everybody else. Like, there's not a drill that you watch him go through and you're like, oh, he's a little bit off.
He's not the biggest guy, but he's very technically sound, and like you can tell he's very coachable because like I watched him the other day, and there was something Chavis and I think it was Okoye was talking to him too, and they're like, hey, do this, and then the next rep he perfected it, and it was like, okay, like this guy. I don't know how much he'll play as a true freshman, but clearly, like I think he's got a lot of tools, and I think Wyatt Gilmore looks really good.
Yeah,
I mean, if you didn't know, if him and Wine were to switch jerseys, I don't know if you'd really. I mean, you'd probably notice a little bit, but he looks the part out there, and I think he has a chance to kind of like Taylor Wine last year have a bigger role and kind of get onto the scene. And
one guy that we haven't talked about that Brent has raved about on the defensive line is Bishop Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, he had that quote about he looks like an old guy or something. You wouldn't think
you like your funky
football.
uncle.
Yeah, your funky uncle.
And he does. He looks.
He just looks like a little bit of an old man.
Yeah.
But I think he's that other guy too. Like you're saying, you have that front line. He just needs to come in for maybe 20 reps a game. But
in certain situations, it's third and long. You put him in the game. Like again, I think if you can get those three guys, Nigel Smith, Bishop Thomas, and Trent Wilson, even to get you some snaps throughout a game, then you can take a little bit off of David Stone and even Jaden Jackson. And, maybe it's in games that aren't as, like when they play like Texas, like David Stone and Jaden Jackson are going to probably play like 80% of the snaps, I think. But if those other guys can come in and be impactful.
What do you guys think about the quarterback room, just in terms of, look, there's 4 guys there. I would think at this point, just, probably Jet New is like odd man out. I mean, but you don't know. I mean, you don't see everything that goes on in practice. But the way the transfer portal is now, like, what do you even do if you're one of those 4 and you feel like it's time to leave? You have to go sit out a year, don't you, if you want to just leave like after the semester?
I don't think they're going to play.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like,
I don't think Jet New has any. I don't think Jet New is having any expectations of getting on the field. Next season.
But I mean, I do think there's a lot of talk about Bowe Bentley. We try and temper anything that we say. Just we don't want to build some hype train up. But I mean, it's not like they're ignoring Whit Neubauer.
No, I mean, I think if like John Mateer got hurt tomorrow,
like early in the season,
Neubauer.
I think Whit Neubauer is your starting quarterback for the opener.
Yeah, and would he be the starter by the end of the season?
Great question.
I don't know, and it's kind of like a situation where if John Mateer got hurt in the middle of a game and you needed someone to finish out the game, I think Whit's your guy. Now, if it's early in the season, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they're like, you know what, we're going to throw Bowe in there. It's and Bowe's going to be the guy the rest of the way or whatever, but I still think Bowe has all the tools and talent, I think, to be really good. It's can he pick up the offense? Can he learn what they're asking him to do? And that's what every freshman quarterback goes
Arbuckle
through.
said it on Monday. Like, there are times because of
He's
the way
swimming.
he knows it. He knows his head's swimming with everything they're throwing at him. And I think they're throwing a lot at him to see kind of how he handles it.
And I think that
no better time than now.
Because, a year from now, he's probably going to be the guy. But I think OU would be dumb not to go out and at least maybe bring in some competition next spring and see if a veteran transfer or maybe a transfer from a lower level, a Trinidad Chambliss, so to speak, can come in and compete with Bowe. I don't know. I like the quarterback room though. I mean,
who wouldn't? I mean, that's 4 quarterbacks that are talented.
Josh.
Oh no, I
thought you were about to jump in.
No. The only thing I would say is, and it was just kind of the hypothetical you threw out, like if John Mateer was hurt tomorrow, it's something serious. We know he's not going to play season opener, anytime foreseeable. I would think it would still be Bentley in week 1. Like, now I get the argument of like, if it happened a week before the season and you didn't really have a time to ramp him up, like, and get Bentley all the snaps and all the views he's going to need, like, absolutely agree. Like, it would be Neubauer. That would make a ton of sense. But to have that runway to get him ready, I just think with what OU wants to do offensively, Bentley can do it, and maybe Neubauer can. Like, I'm not saying he's not talented. I just don't think he is the ideal fit to run the scheme they want to run.
And to Josh's point, they're pretty different quarterbacks, especially in size. I mean, Whit Neubauer is just huge, and Bowe is just not the biggest kid. But
I think
I kind of agree with you, Josh. Like, I think Whit would be maybe the quote unquote number 1 through spring, but I think behind the scenes they would be getting Bowe ready to be like, hey, like, there's a good chance, whatever. I don't even know when the first game is, but August 20th, whatever. You're going to be the first guy to go out there.
Well, there's a
At
Michael
the very
Hawkins
least, giving him every opportunity.
Yes,
there's a Michael Hawkins scenario, and then there's a worst case scenario.
Are they? Let me ask you this, Carey. Are they better at quarterback this year than they were last year?
Yes,
I'd say yes.
I would say yes too.
That's saying a lot, or that's assuming a lot about how Bowe Bentley could perform if he was thrown in there, like Michael Hawkins was.
Do you think he? Okay, let me ask you this: do you think Bowe Bentley would have performed better against Kent State last year than Michael Hawkins did?
I mean, it was a second
With
year.
the people
it's not really
around
fair
him, I
to
don't know.
compare. He'd already started an SEC game. Yeah, the people around him.
Yeah.
Does the game have to get stopped to get an ambulance on the field?
God, I don't think he throws a receiver into.
I think
a brick
there's more.
wall.
I think
I'll say
the answer is there's more upside I think, this year.
I'm super interested in, I guess this kind of just sounds like we're killing Michael Hawkins. I haven't seen anything coming out of Morgantown for spring ball, but that will be a team that I keep an eye on all season just to see how it goes.
It's not as much as a shot at Hawkins as it is, I think, Bowe's a better fit for what they're doing offensively than what Michael Hawkins was.
That's fair.
And I think Michael Hawkins is a better fit for what they're doing at West Virginia than probably anybody OU has at quarterback.
Completely fair.
Well, I mean, Rich Rod has a history of using guys like Michael Hawkins more than he does.
I think there's a good chance we look up at Michael Hawkins' stats, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, even going all the way back to Jacksonville State, Rich Rod, they were putting up points.
Mm-hmm.
It was never a problem of them scoring. They just couldn't stop anybody, if I remember correctly.
God, did they have the transfer turnover again, kind of like OSU did again, like 2 years in a row?
They did. They had a lot
I want
of.
to say it's like it was 40-something. Like it was another big.
Which pales in
flip.
comparison to what he had to do the first year when they had like 65 or
That's
something.
what OSU's doing. I mean, OSU's got
OSU
what,
went all in.
70 something?
Yeah.
But OSU's at least getting Division I guys that won at some level.
And they're going to play a hockey
all
game
the
outdoors.
North Texas guys. Has T-Bag gotten to you?
No. I just saw that headline.
You really believe in that too?
No. I saw a lot of pushback because it costs a lot of money to do something like that.
Yeah, the university's like, I mean, we all know kind of how the club hockey stuff works. They're all very, like the guys at OU over the years, they've always been like, hey, come out, please come out, come to a game, come watch us. Like, they want to promote their sport. I just think they're running rampant in Stillwater with the hockey stuff. Based on a millionaire that, says that he wants to support it.
About?
West Virginia has brought in 75.
Okay.
Wow.
Just this last year,
that's
they brought in
insane.
75?
I am looking at it. Their rivals page shows 49 high school and junior college commitments.
Jeez.
Now, Josh, I do think that like 42 of those might have been high school guys. They signed
That's a lot.
A crazy amount.
That's crazy.
That is why. No, I mean, like 49 is just the recruited guys, and then 34 transfers.
That's crazy.
Well,
That is wild. But
God
that's
bless
what
them and good luck.
Morgantown's
that's
a hell
what
of a school.
the guy did. Morris, that when he was at North Texas, they flipped a bunch, and the second year they had to do it again. Everybody's like, "Well, is this a bad sign?" And clearly, it worked out okay for Eric Morris. So.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see how fast OSU can come back. I mean, a lot of people I know don't care, but just
on paper, they should be a lot better. The bar's pretty low.
yeah. I mean, they wouldn't have been much better
When
when
you haven't
Gundy's
won a conference
stuck
game in
around.
I
2
think
years.
I think the thing with OSU, and I don't know. I can't say I know much about the roster, but I think they'll score. I don't know how well they're going to be able to stop people.
Yeah.
I think Mestamaker's pretty good. Running back's pretty good. I think Eric Morris is a good offensive coordinator. That league, you should be able to score.
The problem is I just don't know what they have on the offensive line. And
Yeah.
that's going to be kind of the
They should
main
win
sticking point.
6 games though. I would think.
You would think they haven't won
What's
a conference
their,
game in 2 years.
What's their over under?
It was not very high because their non-con's pretty tough. They got Oregon.
Yeah.
Come to Stillwater.
Were you guys surprised OU's at 7.5?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was.
guess so.
I mean, I think that is like a no-brainer over. But
seems like
then again, I'm in the OU bubble, and God forbid, hopefully they get over 7.5.
The schedule is brutal again, and
The Georgia Texas thing is tough.
well, I mean the first
I
5
think-
games.
I even think
are,
New Mexico,
Yeah,
Michigan is kind of a tough little jaunt. Like New Mexico's a good.
Not
program.
only you go, you.
I think Jason
you
Eck's a
go
really good
Michigan, New Mexico, Texas, or no Georgia,
Texas.
Yeah, Georgia, Texas. I mean that is a stretch, man. And you have a bye week, I think, before the Texas game, but that is going to be brutal.
Yeah.
I haven't. Josh, have you paid attention to Michigan in terms of what they lost versus what they brought in?
Some of it. I haven't really gotten to dig in, but the thing I would say is if New Mexico is a real problem for Oklahoma, Oklahoma's not the team we think they are.
That's fair.
Like if that's I mean, I'm not saying Michigan. Like I think Eck is really good. He should probably be Wisconsin's head coach right now. But
I think he will be.
Like, I think he will be soon enough too, Eddie. But like if this team is kind of what and I don't know if I don't know that we've really talked about it. If this team's what I kind of think they might be, there shouldn't be any team from that level within 20 points of that.
If they're the team that you're thinking of, Josh, 4-1 through the first 5, or 3-2.
I mean, Georgia
3-2
and Texas
is the bare minimum.
Yeah, you got to be 3-2.
I get losing to Georgia and Texas. That can happen to a really good football team, but they need to But
I don't know if the fan
if they're
base can
competitive
handle
in those
another
two
loss to
games.
Texas.
To me,
let's put the ball
Florida
low.
is the
Score a
one game
touchdown.
I would look at the rest of the schedule and be like, I don't know if OU's favored there.
Sure.
I was talking to my dad about this today. If OU, let's say, I mean, it could go several ways. Like they could go 2-3.
What does he have OU going over the next 3 years?
Yeah, but they could. Like I was telling my dad, I was like, well, what if they won all 5? Say they're 5-0. I think OU would be the number 1 team in the country.
Oh, if they go to
went to
Ann Arbor,
Georgia,
If they go to
Athens,
Ann
and
Arbor,
Dallas,
to Athens, and win in Dallas, they're going to be the number 1 team in the
depending
country.
on what everybody else is doing, yes.
I mean, I don't think anybody else in the country would play potentially 3 top 10 teams, 2 of them on the road.
I think that they would be pushing for number 1. You know how that stuff goes, though, that early in the season.
Yeah, I mean,
Now,
hell, if you go to
2 weeks
Michigan
later-
and Georgia and win both games, you're going to be a top 5 team.
2 weeks later, when the college football playoff rankings come out, or would it be 3 weeks after that, after the 8th game? I think you would be talking about maybe the number 1 team in the country.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, again, that going 5-0 against that schedule is going to be, I think, extremely difficult. But
this isn't an April 1st conversation.
I don't
know what is.
yeah, April Fools, guys, they're definitely not going 5-0. But
George has them 0-5.
if they did,
I mean, here are your returning quarterbacks in the SEC. I mean, you have Bryce Underwood at Michigan, which that's
in the SEC,
in the SEC. Just talking
Or on
about.
OU schedule.
So Gunnar Stockton returns. That's difficult. Arch Manning returns.
I'm still confused about Bryce Underwood.
Bryce Underwood goes to Michigan in the Big Ten.
You're
That's
talking
what
about
no, I'm saying on the schedule next year. Bryce Underwood will return as a starter.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
We get it.
And then I was going through the SEC. All right.
Okay.
Lenore Sellers is coming back. Obviously, Mateer and Marcel Reed.
Trinidad Chambliss.
But not on the schedule.
Trinidad and Chambliss. No, Ole Miss is.
Are they on the
back
schedule?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ole Miss is on
I
the
don't
schedule.
know.
Texas A&M
I'll look at
and,
the schedule
and Ole
in
Miss are
August.
both. Yeah.
Oh, and the
So I
thing-
mean, OU's getting most of the teams with returning quarterbacks next year.
Have you guys seen the Marcel Reed stuff that is going around the internet? Like people just burning him alive. Like it's bad.
Basically, people looking at doesn't the story go that everybody's looking at Casey Concepcion's college tape, and the big takeaway is not how good Casey Concepcion is, rather, oh my God, who's playing quarterback for Texas A&M?
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I still think he's super dynamic, and he could give, like, again, that's so far away when they come to Norman. Is that I think it's
It's late.
is it November?
It is late.
I think it's one of the November.
He could give his legs, though, I think could give OU some problems. But the thing is like going back to the schedule talk, if OU were to go 3-2 in that stretch, which I think is maybe the most likely outcome, that or 4-1, if they were to go 3-2, I still think that they could win the rest of their games. I think it'd be hard, but I think it's doable. The schedule after the Texas game opens up a bit for them. Like it should be. I mean, Ole Miss, I have no idea what they're going to look like.
It's been so backloaded for so long. It's going to be weird being front loaded.
A&M will be good. I think Florida, Kentucky, and South Carolina, they're all kind of in the same boat of they might be good. Kind of in the middle, but they should be able to rack up some wins. Missouri, another team that you could throw in that same category. It's just if you can get through the first 5 games at 4-1, I think you're sitting in a pretty decent spot.
Not to mention, I mean, here's the other thing. Kentucky is a pretty big wild card because they stayed in games with everybody. They had talent on the defense.
Well, they got a whole new, but they got a whole new staff, bunch of new players,
and who knows how good they'll be on offense, like immediately.
The team that could be a sneaky game too. Mississippi State. I'm not saying it's gonna they should go. Oh, you should definitely go win that game, But Mississippi State was hanging with everybody a year ago.
It's going to be dependent upon just
Revenge
what they
game.
get out of the Taylor kid at quarterback.
Yeah,
He's
and
either
revenge
gonna
game
be-
for Zion Reagans.
I think just watching watching Mississippi State a year ago, and especially when they kind of put him in the reins at quarterback, he does some stuff. It's like, oh my God, this guy's going to be the next big thing in the SEC. And then he has some plays that's like, well, if he doesn't develop, it could be a long year, like to tie your career to him moving forward.
If Zion Reagans is the difference in that game, I want Emmett Jones fired at halftime.
Guys, I think their
that's
win
gonna
total's
happen.
4.5. I think they're going to make a bowl. I think Mississippi State's going to surprise some people.
That's what I'm saying. On the road in Starkville, that's a game that, again,
Based off SEC Big 12 scheduling, that will be a night game for Oklahoma, I'm sure.
yeah.
It always feels like they play those sneaky teams at night.
What if like Missouri makes a bounce back next year too?
I think they very well could. I mean, I think Drinkwitz is a pretty good coach. As
Kind
much
of
as people don't want
scumbag
to hear
schedule
that.
they have. They played their first 10 games in
they
Columbia
have
this
something
year.
ridiculous.
They did
But
that
was
last year.
They played their first 8 games in the state of Missouri because they played a Kansas City game.
Just ridiculous. And they don't ever play anybody in non-con. That's
And
any
then
good.
Florida's the other. I mean, that's the thing.
I love a
could be
John
scary.
Sumrall. I
It
love a
is-
John Sumrall press conference.
Yeah, he's great.
We have plenty of time, but I just looking at the schedule right now after everything we're talking about. This, in the end, OU just has to be good. They have to be better. They have to be better on offense. They have to be able to run the ball, control the game. We think that they'll be good on defense. I mean, look, this is what you signed up for, man.
I trust that the defense will be good.
And to be honest, you go to Georgia, you go to Texas, but then you have Kentucky, Mississippi State, South Carolina, at Florida, who's the down program.
Again, you should win. I mean, the OU's going to be read off after the Texas game and say if they will be favored in that game.
Kentucky and Norman.
Favored.
At Mississippi State.
Favored.
South Carolina and Norman.
Favored.
At Florida.
Favored.
Depending on how they do that year, probably.
I think they'll be favored.
Ole Miss and Norman again, back-to-back years.
I think favored, but it'll be close.
Versus A&M in Norman.
Favored.
In Columbia at Missouri.
Favored. I think.
I don't know.
Barring a
Texas,
2 and
I don't
3
think they'll
start.
be favored in Texas A&M.
It depends. I don't know
I mean,
A&M's
Elko
schedule.
has.
Oh yeah, no. I think
he's
A&M's
made that
really
program
good.
legitimate.
I just think at home, like if OU's like a 2-loss team at home, I think that they'll have it'll be like a 1-point favorite.
Are they favored in Ann Arbor?
Yes.
I don't know.
I
wouldn't they?
think they will.
With the
I think they
7.5 win total, I don't know.
What's Michigan? I don't know.
What's their win total?
Yeah,
I think it's 8.5.
I think it'll be like if they're
There
not.
might be
favored,
a line out on this already.
OU might be I'd say like a 2.5, 3-point favorite.
Okay.
In Norman, they'd probably be a touchdown
You know what?
favorite. Michigan favorite?
is favored
Get that money line.
2.5.
2.5. So OU's probably like plus
120.
I mean,
120.
you just have to realize Vegas does not think highly of OU next year.
They didn't think of him highly last year either.
Yeah. Because OU, Eddie, you could speak this.
If
OU
Sharon
has,
Moore was the coach, would OU be favored in that game? Like if
Probably.
we,
oh yeah,
if
oh yeah.
we didn't know what it was.
Here's the thing, Eddie. You know this. Like OU overperformed the line so many years in a row under Bob, and even Lincoln for the most part. Like Vegas kept losing because they kept making that line so big, and when OU came back down to earth, they couldn't account for it.
You kind of see that right now with the Thunder. Like
Yeah.
the Thunder are perennially usually, and it doesn't matter who's in town, they're usually like a 12-point favorite or something, 13, 14, and there's a lot of value on betting against them.
Yeah.
Just because the lane or the
It's-
number is so inflated.
It is not doing this, but it is changing the narrative. I mean, if you're OU, you've got to change the narrative in terms of how Vegas looks at you.
Yeah.
Also, I did pull up Missouri's schedule, and it's way different. Last year, they played like 7 in a row home games. This year, they don't. They open up the season with the powerhouse Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then they go on the road to Kansas, Troy, at Mississippi State, Florida, A&M, at Ole Miss, at Arkansas, Texas, at Georgia, Kentucky, OU. That's actually a pretty tough schedule. They got to go.
Man,
They got to play
that's
Oklahoma,
rough.
Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, A&M, like that's
in a row.
Almost
No, not in a row. Just like they're all on their schedule. They're all on their schedule. Like that's a much more difficult schedule than they faced.
Well, good luck to Coach Drake.
They're doing it with a quarterback that Ole Miss let walk.
Yeah.
Like even before Ole Miss knew what was happening to Trinidad Chambliss, they let him go.
Yeah.
And a new offensive coordinator, right? They hired somebody. We talked about this like a month ago. Oh my gosh, they hired somebody that I was like, huh?
Oh, Missouri.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this conversation. No, let's see.
Because they lost.
Oh, it was the guy from Michigan.
The guy from Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Who was an old school.
Who did not.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot with Bryce Underwood that impressed me.
What is his name? Like
I'm looking it up.
Lewis or something like that? Or
Chip Lindsey.
Chip Lindsey.
Yeah.
Oh, I said it. I'm sorry. I thought.
Oh no, we didn't hear you.
But yeah, guys, to me, like the team I'm kind of fall in love with is going to slip a little bit is A&M. And I really like Elko. Like I don't think, like I just wonder if this is like, I don't know. Like I just kind of look at it. They lost Le'Veon Moss, who's one of those guys that I don't think most people realize how good he was as a back. And I know he was beat up a little bit last year, and they played a lot of Reuben Owens. But I feel like they're going to have to lean more on their passing game. And boy,
Did they lose much on the offensive line and
4 or
defensive
5
line?
starters.
Oh, 4 or 5 starters. And then what about the defensive line? Because they were really good up front last year.
Howell went to the NFL. Albert
Yeah.
Regis is going to the NFL, and Yadam's going to the. I mean, they lost some pieces. I mean, and again, it's Elko. He's going to have good players. They got a good guy from Northwestern, the Saka, something like that. That's an Arsenal guy. I may be projecting that name, but it was. They'll be good. I mean, it's kind of like OU with Brent. Like I trust Elko. He's going to put a good defense out there. Like I just believe that.
That game
but
feels
the
like
offense, I'm like, I don't know.
That OU A&M game feels like I could see that being like, if they can win this game, OU's set up to go to the playoff. Like that's what it feels like that could happen. Like it's like, this is a huge game.
Well, and guys, to me, I look at it like if they can come out of that first 5, 4-1, you've bought yourself a gimme. Like okay, like whatever. You could lose to A&M, you could lose to Ole Miss, and you're going to be fine. It's not going to hurt you in the long run.
What are the chances LSU wins the SEC next year?
0%.
Lane just doesn't have the.
No, I don't know about.
I think it's going to be.
0%.
I think it's going to be Georgia.
I don't know what this LSU experience is going. It feels like it's either going to go really, really well, and we're going to have to sit here and say that Lane Kiffin's kind of done it again, or it's going to be the biggest disaster in the entire world.
I mean, LSU is like. I don't know if this rings with you, Josh, but to me, LSU now really feels like the place where 101 Dalmatians happened, like the Disney. Like it feels like the biggest scumbag depot in history.
They got Cruella DeVille down there. She just coaches women's basketball.
She is Cruella DeVille.
Oh my God, that we should make shirts for weekend. That'd be amazing.
I think for the longest time we wanted to put like Ole Miss and Missouri, maybe to a certain extent Miami, to the test of can this actually be done by buying a roster? Can you just throw the money at the problem and fix it? LSU's, they are the definition of that. Like, can they just completely...
It didn't work. Well, A&M was the first definition of it, and it hasn't happened.
It did it. It did it. I mean, A&M's definitely at a better spot than they were 5 years ago, aren't they?
Well, I mean, they had the wrong coach was the problem. They had Jimbo Fisher.
And I think Lane Kiffin's the right coach.
Yeah.
Kiffin can coach. People don't want to ever give him credit. He's really good. He's just a jerk.
He's a psycho.
Who do they play? Oh, they play Clemson week 1, right?
Uh-huh. I think they'll beat. Guys,
what's going on?
Clemson's in trouble.
Are they?
Clemson's in real trouble.
Who's their quarterback?
Vizina, a kid named Christopher Vizina, and the kid he's competing with is the Tate Reynolds kid. Do you remember the?
Yeah.
Dude, he was a baller.
Tate Reynolds, from Arizona.
Yeah, kid at Camp at OU a couple summers ago. Yeah.
I liked him.
The big blonde kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also
kind of
plays-
like Jack-looking dude.
Is he currently enrolled, Josh? Is he playing baseball for Clemson?
Who? Tate? I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, I know he's enrolled because I know he's going through spring ball, so he's got to be. I don't know if he's playing baseball, though.
Because he was a very accomplished baseball player, right?
I remember you talking about him.
I remember that being the talk of, like, they didn't even know if he would he might just be such a high draft pick that it didn't matter in baseball.
I'm looking at LSU's schedule right now. I think they'll go like 9-3. Clemson. They play
It's just
Clemson.
hard to marry that much new all together at the same time.
They got to go to
And
Ole
guys-
Miss, Auburn, who I have no idea what to make of Auburn. Alabama at home, Texas at home, at Tennessee, at Arkansas. They should win 9 games, I think.
And guys, you can talk about teams that like Arkansas gives LSU problems more often than they don't. Arkansas will way outplay their level against LSU. It seems like about every third year.
Feels like a big year for our good friend Josh Heupel at Tennessee. They need to win some football games.
Yeah.
Tate Reynolds is not currently on the baseball roster, but I don't know is that one of those things that you have to play football because you signed the letter of intent first? I always get mixed up on what the actual rule is on that.
I think that's right.
You know what? Whose season could break really bad next year? Our friend Lincoln Riley, because
I'd hate that.
They they got rid of Notre Dame, but they still have Oregon. They got Washington at home, which I don't know what's his name's going to do.
Who's their non-con? Who's he playing?
Oh, it's terrible. It's
they
San Jose State, Fresno State, and Louisiana.
San Jose's who they replaced Notre Dame.
They don't play
with.
any Power 4 team?
No.
That's ridiculous.
Then they play Rutgers to start off their Big Ten schedule.
Is that in Piscataway?
It's in Piscataway.
We should go.
Okay, so 4-0.
Oregon.
But knowing him, I would
At
bet
home.
Rutgers. I almost cite like line unseen. I would bet Rutgers.
Oregon at home. Washington at home. Go to Penn State. Go to Madison to play Wisconsin. Ohio State at home. Indiana in Bloomington. Maryland at home. UCLA in Pasadena.
Yeah, they could easily go like 8-4.
On paper, they're gonna be really good though.
Yeah.
Got the #1 recruiting class in the country. As much as I hate to say it,
That class could
they
fall
were
apart, too.
probably a game away from. Well, they signed, I think, didn't they?
That's right. Yeah.
If they beat Illinois in that game that they had half their team out with the flu, they're probably in the playoff last year.
But they didn't.
But they didn't. Yeah.
And I think the #1 class stuff is it's like how quickly can I get it's the #1 class, but how quickly can a true freshman class really help you?
I think they can fit into spots, and they're bringing back a bunch of really good players too.
But they're not bringing back their best player.
How much would they owe
Makai
Lincoln
Lemon.
if he went 8-4 and they wanted to get rid of him?
He was maybe a crazy
He
person.
might be crazy. What's that?
I wonder how much they would owe Lincoln if he went 8-4
think
and
a
they wanted
lot.
to fire him.
I think a lot.
Like 60-70 million, I think.
It's a lot.
It's a private
He was
school,
making
so
like
nobody really
I think
knows that.
but I think I want to say the LA Times reported or somebody reported he was making like 15 mil a year or something crazy. And it
I
was
don't
like
know. You put
it was
the
a
LA
long
Times on the
time.
case, they might connect them to the Diddy trial.
Matt Campbell at Penn State. Any thoughts on how that's going to go?
Really good football coach. Unfortunately, I think it's just a tough spot. They're in a tough spot because
he probably has
the
way
Big
too
Ten's
many
not.
Iowa State players.
I don't know.
You're moving a good, not great Big 12 Iowa State roster to the Big Ten.
It's not going to
The
go
water's
well.
deeper.
Next year, I don't know if next year will tell the tale of what he can be in Happy Valley because I think
Agreed.
like long term wise, I think Matt Campbell's a good enough coach that he can find success in the Big Ten. I just don't know, like in this new Big Ten world, where can you just like completely turn it around overnight? Now I say that the national champion just did that, and it was at Indiana, so maybe anything's possible.
I think this is an April take, but I think Ohio State's going to win the national championship
In football,
Yep. I think it'll be Big Ten again, and I think
I don't wanna live
Ohio
in a
State
world
should
where
have
this
won
is
it last
happening.
year. Ohio State probably should have won it last year. I guess not. Indiana was damn good, but like Ohio State just kind of fell apart.
Penn State's schedule,
tough.
cupcakes everywhere. Marshall at Temple, Buffalo, Wisconsin, Northwestern.
Watch out, Casey Keeler. Nobody, you just don't walk into
Northwestern.
Philadelphia
I know you
and win.
Wait, where's Pat Fitzgerald?
Michigan State.
Why did
Michigan
I say?
State.
Michigan State.
I
Michigan
really
State.
wanted to say Northwestern, and my brain just went completely
Yeah, I
blank.
did the same thing. At
'Cause it seems
Northwestern,
right.
then they have USC, at Michigan, then they get a bye, then Purdue, Washington, Minnesota, Rutgers, Maryland.
See, that's the thing. When you talk about the Big Ten, nobody ever talks about those teams down at the bottom.
Yeah. Did you see the advanced analytics from Bill Conley with the SP Plus, where somebody made a graph of like how deep the conferences were, and it was like they had Ohio State way up there and a couple other Big Ten teams, and then like the SEC just like flatlined out where it's like every team is just good, and then the Big Ten it just drops off. Like Big Ten is like a slant, and the SEC is just like slowly kind of declining to like almost a straight line, because it's like, yeah, the Big Ten is very top heavy, and then it has a massive drop off. Where the SEC, it's like, I mean, we were just talking about OU having a tough time at Mississippi State, you know, like,
or what's going on in Nebraska?
I don't care.
They
stink. I am so out on Matt Rule.
You radicalized me last year, and now I'm just like, now I'm kind of fascinated.
Yes,
like, how much longer are they going to give Matt Rule?
I'm so out on Matt Rule.
To me, Matt Rule is the biggest. Just
he hasn't beaten a top 25 in like a decade, and he was at Temple.
Was a genius when he was at Baylor.
I did too.
Same.
And there's nothing. I don't want to take anything away. He did a good job at Baylor for sure. But like, I feel like we crowned him as this amazing coach. I just don't think he is. I also just think bless you, Carey. I just think also Nebraska is just a program that seems like it just is a very hard place to win right now.
I feel like, I don't know why, I feel bad for that program. Like, I felt kind of bad that they keep getting like into volley. They keep selling out like volleyball games in stadiums. They want to win so bad. I mean, they came and jumped in the canal.
They're playing a game at Wrigley here coming up.
I know, like
volleyball team.
But they came
Jordy
in here
Ball.
and they won an NCAA tournament, and they jumped in the canal like more than we did when we won the world championship. Like, they're dying to win at something because football is so shitty. I feel bad for them as a fan base.
Nebraska opens with Ohio. They're making a real run at the MAC. Then they go Bowling Green, North Dakota, and then they jump into Big Ten play at Michigan State, Maryland, Indiana,
did I miss something?
at Oregon, Washington.
Does the Big Ten not have to play a Power
at
4?
Illinois, Rutgers, Ohio State,
They
Iowa.
have 9 games, I think. So they don't.
Wait, read that again, Eddie. Their Big Ten schedule.
At Michigan State,
Okay.
Maryland, Indiana, at Oregon, versus Washington, at Illinois, at Rutgers, Ohio State, Iowa.
Okay, I'll say it right now. Matt Rule's going to get fired.
Ooh.
They are not. That is not an easy schedule.
They might go 3-6 in the Big Ten
Yeah, that is not an easy schedule.
because there's 3 automatic losses: Ohio State, Oregon. And who was the
Indiana.
Yeah, they ain't winning those games.
Yeah, I think he's going to get fired.
And they could lose
They
the
just
Illinois
signed
games in
Georgia.
Champaign. They could lose that easy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Illinois. They could lose to Michigan State. I mean, they
They
should.
just
Iowa.
re-upped him though.
I don't know.
They renewed him when they thought they were going to lose him to Penn State.
They should have let him go. They should have let him go.
And hired Matt Campbell.
Yeah.
Look, we got so involved, I think, with the Owen Heineke stuff before spring practice started. Let me throw this little roundtable out there. What do you guys think about, and not that there's a whole bunch going on, but what do you think about, I don't know how many days we're into the Roger Denny administration here? 30?
A little over a month.
A little over a month. Anything that really stands out to you about, I know you've talked to him a little bit.
Well, he kept Porter Moser.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing he's really done.
Yeah.
So no, nothing has stood out.
He hasn't
except
had
for
to
that.
make any kind of football decisions really, or
No.
and there really hasn't been anything NIL-ish on the on the front. So it's been pretty status quo.
Yeah. I mean, OU hasn't even lost a football game yet. So it's gone pretty well.
What was his role in the Heineke stuff? Like, did he have some
OU
input
pretty
on
much
that?
just washed their hands. They can't have anything to do with that. So
Okay.
they just kind of leave it up to his legal
And
team.
I
which
think,
George
Josh,
has
his
reported on a
role
lot.
and OU's role was, we can't tell you what to do, but if you were to go down this legal route, here's what it would look like. And
Yeah.
OU from there can't really get involved. And
Sure.
I think Denny, though, has a background, obviously a legal background and knowledge of the NCAA, that he probably was able to sit Heineke down and say, hey, if you were to go this route, this is what it would look like. Here's how it would play out. And kind of, again, I don't think there was any push for him to do one thing or the other. I mean, Brent said so the other day, and I do kind of believe that. I think ultimately Heineke just made this decision on his own. But I do think OU was able to give him a lot of different, resources and understanding of what would happen. And I think Jim Nagy, more than anybody, played a role in terms of telling him, here's where NFL teams see you. Like, here's what, because ultimately that's what it came down. I think that they found out that if he were to take a legal route, he'd probably get to play. Like, there's a really good chance he's going to be given this injunction and get to play next year. I think it more so came down to, okay, am I going to get drafted? What does my stock look like? And I think Nagy kind of helped with that.
Nothing's really changed on the entertainment district front. It's still, other than some city council members getting on Facebook and saying things that just loud noises. But let me ask you this: is there a chance with Roger Denny coming in, that maybe the stadium stuff gets pushed back a little bit and maybe doesn't hit the deadline that they initially had thought, which was 2029?
I think we'd have to ask Roger that. I don't know what his feelings are.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I
have no clue.
I'm waiting to kind of hear his side of things, I guess.
Yeah, and I have heard him, when he first got the job, he was asked something about renovations and things of that nature, and I thought his answer was interesting, where he's like, well, I've always approached it in Illinois, always approached it of doing little things instead of one big project, which is kind of the opposite of what OU's proposing in terms of just basically tearing down the entire west side and building it all up in 1 year.
It.
Like, that wasn't exactly what he was saying. He was more so saying, like, I'm more of a fan of let's do little projects to just constantly update. So maybe he would change it. I also don't know, I think Joe Harris is a big fan of the big stadium project. Yeah. I think that Board of Regents, I think some donors are fans of it. There's also some donors that I think are opposed to it, but ultimately I don't know. I know Roger has a say in it. Obviously, he's the athletic director, but
ultimately Joe Harris will be the one to decide.
Correct.
This is what we're doing. Or not.
Yeah, and the Board of Regents, and they already approved it. So I just don't know. I mean, you could back out of it, I guess, but I don't think they've hired a construction team. I'm not sure.
I think that's correct.
Or maybe they have. I'd have to check on that. But it's the next time we get to talk to Roger, I think it's a valid question to ask, because that's kind of the big thing on the horizon.
Well, I said my piece last week. I really don't have anything to add in terms of how I feel about it.
Got adored by the fans. That was as popular as Carey's been on the corner.
My dad loved it.
That was a home run.
It's just how I feel.
Well, I think you nailed it, Carey's time as it's gone on, it just does kind of rub you the wrong way about it. But
yeah, the more I think about it, the more you talk to people about it, and that's the thing. Just talk to some people. Yeah. I mean,
and I think we can all agree that West Side needs some renovations. I think just the way they're going about the renovations and what they are actually is just not. I think it could be better. I think it could be different.
You can't do everything just based on if it's going to make you the most money. That's how I feel about it. Now, I'm not, giving millions of dollars to the university, so they don't care what I say.
Maybe you should start.
I don't have that much money, George. I've got to pay everybody.
And the studio.
Do you want an update?
Yes, please. Let's go. I haven't asked about it in a while.
The interns are working today. I think they're going to have all the sound stuff done today, the stuff up in the ceilings, and it'll go really fast after that.
I think we should. No water. I was going to tell Harry, no, I do not want to see him drinking water until this thing is done.
I think they should be done either today or Friday.
So when you say it should go really fast after that, what is left to do?
Hook up 4 microphones and
get us in there?
And get us in there, yeah.
Nothing else?
I still need to learn a couple of things about DMX panels, but there's plenty of YouTube videos for that. It's a one-day deal. And then we'll have to do some testing, sound check and levels, and got to kind of Eddie and I will go through and kind of figure out camera shots and what looks good, and we'll it won't be perfect when we first start, but it'll get better. It's kind of like this place. We've got this room kind of down to a science, except for Eddie and I having trouble with the lights. But that's more of a Bluetooth thing, app thing. But in the other studio, it's called DMX. We won't have any problems with lights. And, we'll figure out all the other stuff as we go along. But we'll be able to, by the time the spring game is here, I feel pretty confident in saying that we'll at least have done a show in there.
Holding you to that.
Well, you always do. I mean, you held me to the 12th, the March 12th deadline, and it came and went.
And we extended it.
I will say this, though. I mean, I'm proud of it.
You set that date. You did that.
I just agreed to Eddie said it.
No, I think I said it. But either way.
I missed it, yeah. But I'm going to say this. I'm incredibly proud of everybody that works here. Everybody's working their asses off. I think a lot of people think that we do this because we like being around the players and the coaches and the people that come up to us and recognize us. It's a job, man. I mean, we're working long hours, and I think Josh, you know this over the years. You've always had people come up to you. I'm sure Eddie has done the same too. He just ignores the DMs. But people are like, hey, I just want to get my foot in the door. I want to do what you guys do. I'll work for free. This and that. Like, that doesn't work. Because ultimately, I have a lot of work to do, and I can't also teach you. Like, you need to pay me if you want to come work here for free. That's kind of how it's more on that setup than it is you doing me a favor by working free. You're not doing me a favor by working for free. You're just taking up more of my time that I don't have to give you. So what I'm trying to say is, like, this is a real job. We're not here for the glory. I mean, it's nice when people come up to you and say hello, and we certainly appreciate everybody that subscribes. And we would never, want to, blow you guys off if we met you in public. In fact, I've always told you, hey, come up to me, say hello, let me know you're a subscriber or a listener to the pod, whatever. I know Eddie and I would always get it in the airports. I'm sure you guys get that a lot now, traveling. But no, it's a job, man. It's not for everybody. And it's a lot of hours and a lot of hard work, and I'm proud of everybody for, the work they put into it. Even the interns, they're doing a good job, except they moved some of my lights around.
I was about to say, they moved the lights. Can't be doing that.
Just paid the guy $5,000 to come in and set those up so they can move them around, just at their leisure. Anyway, so there's my little soapbox for the day. I know Eddie hates this stuff, so we'll move on. Anyway.
Thank you, Carey.
You're welcome. All right. You want to wrap up the women's season real quick?
I mean, it is what it is. Like, these people that are complaining and they're like, oh, what's Jenny Baranchek's deal? Just get blown out in the Sweet 16.
I love the
Welcome
thread.
to women's college basketball. Everybody gets blown out in the Sweet 16 unless you play for UConn, Texas, UCLA, or South Carolina.
Yeah. I love the thread on the board where the guy was like, I hope Rocky Beers is better than Reagan. He
It's
just
like, yeah, she was a
blasted.
3-time All-American. 3-time All-American in her career. Just ridiculous. The women's basketball program's in a good place. Like,
that guy did get blasted off the board, by the way.
Yeah, they achieved what their ceiling was this year. So I thought it was a good year. Now they got to go out and get better in the transfer portal. They got to go get some girls that can help.
What do they really
Chavez.
need, you think?
Well, somebody to replace Reagan.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a monster for him the last couple of years. And they need to get more shooters. That's one thing. They were really bad from 3 this year. And Verhulst didn't have a great year shooting. Chavez was just okay from 3. They need to get some shooters that Chavez can dish it off and some girls that can create. They shouldn't have enough girls that could create and be physical enough. And then they got to get.
I like Lofton. I think she could be a bigger part of things next year, make it more
she's
athletic.
got to. She's super athletic. She can't shoot very well. She needs to work on her shot a little bit. I think Stewart's going to play a lot. I mean, I think she'll probably start.
Yeah.
Sahara Williams needs to get better, in shooting. Like, I just feel like they need to get more shooters.
Yeah.
Like
which is most women's teams in the country.
I mean, they lost to South Carolina. They shot like 30% from 3. South Carolina shot 71% from 3. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, that you have no chance.
And that's why they're in the Final Four.
Yes, but like, if you can get some more players that can make some outside shots and can run up and down the floor, create their, like, it felt like at times Aaliyah was really the only one that could create her own shot, or Reagan, if you got her the ball down low.
And
They
I'm
need
not
some more of
blaming it
that.
on Ginny's pace, but the turnovers, I mean, that's just killer.
They need to work on that. But
I think just watching some of the Elite Eight stuff too, like those really, really elite teams, like the teams that are playing in the Final Four, they force you to play that way too. Because I think it was Duke that played South Carolina on Sunday night. A lot of those entry passes, a lot of those turnovers that they had on runouts or breakaways, they're just better athletes.
That's the thing. They got to go get more athletic, and it's easier said than done. It's not like there's just a bunch of players out there that you can
Everybody's
go get.
trying to get the few that there are.
and that
the 20
and they're all going
are going
playing
this weekend.
Yeah, they're going to the big programs. So it's like it's
and
hard.
LSU has a bunch of them that aren't playing.
The key is for the next step for Ginny and her program is, and Eddie and I've talked about this, it's getting to be a 2 or 3 seed. And I know they were a 3 seed a year ago. They just got a bad draw having to play UConn. But you got to get a 2. If they were a 2 or 3 this year, they could have got to the Elite Eight. They
well,
would
it shows you like TCU,
the result would have been the same.
TCU, they got the 11 seed because they were a 3 seed.
Right. And that's why it's like the result would be the same. They would have lost by 20 or 30 to whoever in the Elite Eight. But that's the next step, is being a 2 or 3 seed in the NCAA tournament and avoiding these programs who are just dominating the sport right now. I mean, it's just not. It's like OU in softball. Like you just run into a buzzsaw at some point.
And you feel like, I know you spoke with Leah's family. You feel like she's pretty solid for the foreseeable future at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's definitely for next year. I know Leah spoke to Colton Sully from the Oklahoman after the game in Sacramento and was just talking about like how much she's already looking forward to next year and thinks they're going to be really good. And obviously they have some young freshmen that are going to be back, but also some freshmen coming in. And I do think that they'll try and add, 2 or 3 pieces in the transfer portal that can play for them. And, the other thing is too, UCLA, they're in the Final Four. One of their best players, Gianna Neepkins, who was on Team USA this past summer, OU almost got her. And if OU gets her, I think that, I'm not saying they would have made the Final Four, but this is a girl that she's scoring like 14 points a game for UCLA off the bench. Like if OU could have had somebody like
she's
that,
possibly going to be a lottery pick.
Yeah,
in the WNBA draft,
in the WNBA,
or at least a first round draft.
Like she's one of their best players. Like if she would have been at OU, like that's the type of player OU was missing this year. That a veteran type player that can come in and score, create her own shot, shoots the 3 ball really well. Like if they would have landed her in the portal a year ago, I think OU probably would have made it maybe one more round.
And she didn't come to OU because you offended her when she was here for her visit.
No, I think she's from California. I think that's why she ended up at UCLA.
I got that story wrong then.
And then it'll be interesting to see, what happens with Porter and how much they're going to pay. I mean, you have to think keeping Porter, that Roger Denny is making it a priority of his to raise more money for their roster.
Yeah, I just don't know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Like they made that commitment this past year. Obviously, it wasn't adequate enough, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see as they get obviously through this week and the rest of the Crown, and the portal actually does open up. I've heard some names that they've kind of loosely just like, hey, that would be nice if they could get him. I just don't know what the reality of that is.
And they got to keep Brown and Reed.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And I will say...
and retention has not been... I mean, that's been one of their biggest problems. I mean, look at, the guys that were still playing in the tournament. I mean, we all know Otega Owe, but you also had...
Los Uzon down at Houston.
Uzon and then Miles.
Duke Miles at Vanderbilt. Yeah. I do think that just kind of the way... He wasn't asked point blank, like, are you coming back next year? Xavier Brown did talk to the media on Monday before they left to go to Vegas, and he, for the most part, talked about like building momentum into next year, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. With his dad as an assistant right now, you would think that is going to be a pretty good situation if he's back in Norman. But who knows? Does somebody else want to make the move that Oklahoma made, where he gets a better job and he brings his stepson with him?
I think the one thing we do know is that you've got to be not just better, but more consistent than Mo Waggy in the middle. I mean,
well, and if he could have played like he did at the end of the season year,
it's gonna kind of really piss me off if he goes out there and plays really well again tonight, because it's like, what were you doing for 2 months?
Yeah,
or at any point here during the course of the Crown.
And I did see Dayton Forsythe on his scooter on Campus Corner the other day. So yeah,
Moser kind of explained it. It was basically, hey, do you want to get wait to have the you were going to have surgery. So do you want to wait and have it and play in the Crown, or do you want to have it this week and start rehab and you can get back onto the floor easier, quicker? And he opted for the immediate surgery, and he'll be
we're
back.
not in the NCAAs.
So he should be back for like summer. He should be back for like summer workouts, that kind of stuff.
All right, rough series. I know you're going to say that they're one of the best teams in the country, but tough to lose two of the games that OU lost at Texas.
That was rough.
Weekend.
That was rough, and especially to like come back and be in spots in the late innings in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th on the back two games after you kind of get your ass kicked in the first night with LJ. Just rough. Like there is a world where you could argue like I think a little bit higher of Oklahoma the way that they played down at Austin. But because you didn't win a game, you got swept, you obviously aren't going to make that statement. So they need to bounce back. Had a nice win on Tuesday night up at Tulsa at ORU, won 4-0. Really good pitching performance from Michael Catalano as well as Nick Weslowski. And I don't know. We'll see. Like if they keep struggling on the back end of the bullpen, do you give more, give a little bit more leeway to somebody like a Nick Weslowski, who I thought looked pretty good on Tuesday night? So,
and to me, that's the thing. I mean, losing the finale, extra is fine, but that middle game.
Yeah, you just can't do
You
it.
get a
You can't
great
lose.
pitching performance as a starter, and then guys come in and they just can't throw strikes.
Yeah, and it hasn't been a problem. So I don't know. Is it something that you're just overly concerned about moving forward? I would say not. They're going to continue to throw guys like a Jackson Cleveland or Jason Bowden, Gavin Jones. They're going to continue to get those big leverage spots on the back end of games. You got to deliver, though, or they have it. The good thing is you have enough arms that you might be able to mix and match if you have to do that. So Alabama's really good. Coming in this weekend, start the series tomorrow night, 3-game series back at Kimray. Kind of weird that they played 8 in a row on the road, but you're right in it. I think Alabama's RPI is currently 6th.
Did they go Thursday, Saturday the last 2 weekends?
Yeah, and they go Thursday through Saturday this weekend. Now, a lot of teams are playing Thursday through Saturday this weekend because of Easter. But, yeah, and I think they have one more Thursday through Saturday series. I want to say that it's maybe even 2 more. I want to say Vanderbilt's one and Arkansas is possibly one of them.
Okay.
That's just an SEC thing. I thought they would play more Thursday through Saturday last year, and they didn't.
And see, I thought that was just for if you were on the SEC network, but that's not the case either. So
some of them, yeah, it's just kind of like the softball stuff, like how OU played Saturday through Monday down in Oxford.
Yeah,
good to see Jen Rocha back on the in the dugout
great.
Too.
And
awesome news.
Have her back, and especially she's needed. I mean, got to get the pitching right.
Kind of sounds like they've turned the corner a little bit, maybe with Berzone. So we'll see. Should be kind of interesting. See what they can do. I'm not too worried about what they're doing offensively. What Kendra Wells is doing is just insane. 27 home runs before April 1st is an unbelievable number.
So did she break the record for that Arkansas girl last year? Like already?
I think.
Or is that just SEC play?
I think it's conference home runs.
Okay.
I think. I don't know that for a fact though.
Isn't she's on pace though to hit the most in a season, right?
Yeah. Ever.
Because the Arkansas girl passed Lauren Chamberlain.
That was career.
So that was
career
yeah.
home runs.
Okay.
I think. Isn't that right?
I believe that's right, yeah.
Allo had the career home run record.
Yeah, that's true.
I think she still does.
Does she?
Yeah. But there's a girl from Hawaii, I believe, who has the season record in college softball. But either way, she's on.
Well, that's the girl that Allo broke because
maybe
she did it out in Hawaii. Remember?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
she did it in front of her family and stuff.
But I think she might also hold
Allo
this.
still has the career record.
Okay,
who has the season record, Josh?
Maybe that's
it's got to be that girl from Arkansas.
I'm trying to pull that up. Let's see.
And we respect her if she does.
Because I think I remember OU just like totally neutralized her when they played
last year.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that clip?
It says it's 37 by a girl from Arizona in 95, Laura Espinoza.
Okay, Miss Espinoza.
Maybe that was just an SEC.
I don't remember what it was. She did push for something, though, the Arkansas girl did. Did you see the interview that DJ Gasso did
No.
a couple days ago? He was talking about Patty. It's just kind of funny. Like, he's like, everybody's intimidated by her. I'm not. I'm her son. I know all her tricks. It was just, he said it, jokingly.
That is pretty funny. All right, recruiting report is out as well. Josh's trip down to Under Armour, New Orleans. So lots of good stuff there with Jamison Roberts, and good seeing film on him, and as well as you have to remind me the other kids that were on the highlights.
Keone Snipes. We talked about Caden Buchanan, big linebacker offer.
That kid looks good.
And Braylon Bedford is really the main guy we talked about that doesn't already hold an offer. But if that doesn't get fixed sometime soon, I'd be pretty surprised. I really, really like that kid.
He was the number 4, the DB?
Yeah,
Okay.
The DB that was just, like I said, he was one of those guys that, at camps, you guys know, maybe a guy gets one pick, maybe gets his hand on another one. It was every other throw. He had his hand on the ball, was right there in position to make a play.
What's the next big recruiting event? Whether visits or camps?
It'll be the spring game. Okay. For here in a couple of weeks. Like, that'll absolutely be the next kind of big moment. There's the Keone Snipes kid that I mentioned that is, for those that don't know, is Jamison Roberts' high school teammate at Saraland there in Alabama. He'll be there. I would expect most of the commitment list will be there. I'm going to actually get this out here pretty quickly so I can go ahead and put it. The kid we were talking about earlier, the Ulia, I haven't talked to him yet. Wolfgram kid, the kid from Utah that OU offered last night. He's good. He told me actually while we're doing the show here that he'll be in town for the spring game as well. So Oklahoma's moving pretty aggressively with him apparently.
And real quick on the Micah Rhodes decommitment, obviously he talked to you. Giving indications that he just didn't feel like he was that big of a priority when he was here on Monday it was, yeah. And he was out there, and, I was taking pictures, and he was in some of them, and the entire, personnel staff was out there. So normally, it would be easy for them to go up and give a recruit a lot of love if they wanted to make him feel comfortable and feel needed. But obviously he just didn't feel like he was any longer a priority for OU.
That's, yeah. And just based on some things I've heard, conversation I've had, it doesn't, guys, stuff like that doesn't happen by accident when you have as big a staff as OU does. Is the only way I can think to say that.
And they have their new recruiting, person, the host or whatever you want to director.
Molly Jacoby, who everybody seems to speak really highly of. But it just, again, I think maybe with DeMarco gone, I think maybe there's just a different page everybody's on at this point.
All right. That's going to do it. We will be back. Practice will resume. We're going to have we did talk to some players on Monday. We haven't gotten that practice report out there. That will be coming. And it looks like we'll be doing another Around the Corner on Friday. So check for all you subscribers. Check the message board. Get your questions in. We'll get that thread up so you can get your questions asked. And
no dumb questions.
No fire. How does this person get fired? Questions. We're not doing that. We just won't even bring it up. You can write it down. I'll ignore it. All right.
George is going to cosplay as Christy Nome's husband. It's going to be can't miss YouTube.
Man, what a deal. Like, that's one of those things, like, I went out of my way to find out what that was. And
it's something, isn't it?
It's interesting. All right, that's going to do it. I'm going to get the hell out of here before Eddie does anything else. Happy April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled with people's zaniness out there. We're not taking part in it. So, Josh, thank you. Eddie, thank you. George, thank you.
They found her. They found Nancy Guthrie.
No, they didn't.
Not April Fools. Bye-bye.